Hi guys, Lana Hill from One Small Step Business Coaching here. And happy Monday. Today I wanted to talk to you all about finding your point of difference as a small business. It's something that is, I think, incredibly important and quite often not fully understood, I guess, as part of the planning process. It is one of my top 6 business planning basics, which, if you're not familiar with, is my 6-step process to creating a fabulous business strategy. And your point of difference is something that is, I think, just incredibly crucial in today's modern environment. You've got businesses everywhere, and I think, which is so exciting. I mean, it's the age of the entrepreneur at the moment. Everywhere I look, someone is starting their own business, which is just fantastic. But it means we are getting more and more saturated with choice. And, you know, in every kind of market you look in, I mean, I can't really think of too many that don't have, you know, dozens and dozens of competitors out there locally and, you know, further abroad. So it's just so important for you to really understand what your point of difference is as a small business, number one. But number two, and this is probably even more important, to be communicating that really consistently and clearly and confidently with your customers. So if you don't know what your point of difference is, how do you find one, or how do you create one? So a point of difference needs to be something really meaningful and something that makes you stand out from your competitors. So a point of difference isn't something like, you know, amazing customer service. Yeah, that's a great thing to do as a business, but it's not a point of difference because, you know, let's face it, there'd probably be a lot of your other competitors that are, you know, practicing great customer service with their client base. So the best way, I think, to really identify your primary point of difference as well as a few secondary points of difference is to do a SWOT analysis on your competitors and also the big players within your marketplace. So as an example, you know, a point of difference doesn't have to be in your product or service. So this is particularly important when you are operating in a product category that is saturated, and that is, you know, there's so many direct competitors. So one of my easiest examples to use is if you are a soy candle product. I know here in Perth there's so many, you know, different brands. And it's okay, you know, if you enter into a market with lots of direct competitors, but you need to be really smart about it. So a point of difference in this scenario, you know, there's no point of difference in the product from one soy candle to another. There might be a very slight difference. And what I would encourage you here is, you know, when you're saying, oh yeah, but my soy is organic or whatever. Okay, but is that meaningful to your target market? Because what you think might be an amazing point of difference and something that is just so compelling might not actually be that compelling to your target market. So that's a really, really key point. But what you can do is create a point of difference in your branding, in your marketing, in your brand values, for example. And the thank you group is an example I often use in my workshops. They compete in quite a few different product categories with not much in terms of a point of difference as far as the product goes. So let's think about, say, their thank you muesli. You know, muesli's muesli at the end of the day, but their point of difference is in their branding, it's in their messaging, it's how they are representing themselves to their target market, and that target market finds their point of difference in their branding. You know, they're a social enterprise thank you group, and that is really compelling to their target market. So make sure when you are looking at your competitors and looking at what is already out there in the market that you really find the gap. So I have had the question before from clients and also from other people out there in the marketplace. You know, why is it important to do a SWOT analysis? Why I shouldn't need to pay attention to what the competitors are doing? Well, I kind of agree, and yeah, I think, you know, once you've done your homework, you know, I don't think it's a great idea to spend a lot of time and energy focusing on your competition. But you have to know your market. I mean, you have to know what's already out there. You have to know, are you more expensive than everybody else? You know, are you because you need to know your environment, so you know then how to position yourself. So for example, again, if you're the soy candle, you want to go into the market and you want to position yourself as a high-end product. Well, how are you going to know what price point is high-end if you don't do your homework? So you really need to test your assumptions by, and obviously target market and point of difference work really, really closely together. So your point of difference, as I said, really needs to be something compelling to your target market, but it needs to be a real point of difference. It can't be something, that other people are doing within your organization. So it can, within your environment, I mean. So it can be a branding point of difference, as we've talked about. It could be a point of difference in your product. It could be something, your product has something or does something or whatever it is that either no other products out there in the market do or not many others do. If you have a point of difference and you sort of worry because you might get some competitors start to pop up, that's okay. And you know what? It's probably a good sign because it means you're doing something new and amazing. And, that's just business. People are always going to follow the leader in a market. But, that's still okay. Like if you have a large marketplace and there's only one or two other people doing what you're doing, I'd still call that a really significant point of difference. And again, if you're marketing that point of difference in a slightly different way to your competitors, then, amazing. That means that's still going to be really compelling for the people that you're targeting. So I can't stress this highly enough. Finding a point of difference, so important from a marketing perspective. But as I'm a salesperson at heart, I also want to talk about why finding your point of difference is so important from a sales perspective. So when you're talking to people, and as you might remember if you have been watching these video blogs, sales is really all about the one-on-one. So marketing is when you're kind of selling your brand, selling the story to many. So that could be via your social media, website, all the different ways we market to our customers. But sales is when you're one-on-one, you're communicating with real life human beings, and you might be on the phone, but generally it's face-to-face. Or on email, that's still sales as well. But you really need to know what your point of difference is when you're communicating with people, when you're networking, even when you're just talking to your friends and family. What makes your product different? And I was actually at a networking event on Friday night, and I had someone come up to me, a lawyer, and he was very analytical and came from a corporate background, which I also come from. And he really put me on the spot and said, well, there's lots of business coaches out there and you seem, pretty young to me. Like, what makes you so special? And bang, I hit him in between the eyeballs with it. And I walked away thinking, thank God I come from a sales background because I know how to communicate my value. So my value is, I did my research when I went into the world of being a business coach, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but there's more and more business coaches out there. Every month I see there's more and more options popping up for people. So I really need to be confident in how I communicate my value. My point of difference is that I focus really, really specifically on business planning. So I use the business plan as a framework to help other small business owners basically get where they want to go. I'm not in the business of telling other people how to run their business because they're the ones that are best placed to do that. What I am in the business of is giving my clients clarity, giving them direction, and giving them the plan of how to get where they want to get to. And that is totally tailored on a client by client basis. I don't believe in the subscription style of business coaching, and that is another point of difference of mine. And, long story short, I'm just basically all about giving business owners the tools they need to succeed. And I believe that is a pretty compelling point of difference. My target market is small business, and I know in terms of how I structure my packages, how I structure my coaching, that those point of differences are really compelling to my target market. But if I was having approaching a different target market, approaching, my business in a different way, I would be able to find, a different way to present my products and services, to present my branding, all of those things. But you've really got to know who are you trying to appeal to and what is going to stand out to them. Because if you haven't done that homework, then, what you might think is an amazing point of difference might not be that compelling to your target market. So going back to why it's important to, really understand how to communicate your point of difference. As I said, in that networking environment, if you come across somebody that either puts you on the spot or you're in front of a big group of people, or even if you just, having a really important kind of like a pitch meeting or need to send through a proposal, or you might get a phone call from somebody that really wants to, throw an awesome opportunity at you and you're not ready for it, but you've got to think, okay, yeah, quickly, I've got to tell them how awesome I am. I can't tell you how important it is, because if you are able to communicate that with confidence and passion and knowledge and, have it all there in your head on the spot, people that communicate with you, whether they're handing you an opportunity, whether they're a potential client, or whether they're just a friend, they're going to think, yeah, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. They love what they do. And I want to do business with them. That's the best thing you can do as a business owner. And I think I probably would have said in the video blog before that we do live in the age of marketing, of digital marketing, and particularly social media marketing. And yes, it's so important. But guys, if you want to stand out in this environment where I see so many businesses are not investing in their sales skills, and they're not investing in, how to communicate with people on a one-on-one basis. Everyone's investing in their social media. Not many people are investing in sales. That's a point of difference. And I know that's one of my points of difference as well, because I come from a sales background and I'm 100% confident and comfortable in communicating my value, what I do, why I love it, all of those things to my people. Anyway, that's enough from me today. And if you want to know more about finding your point of difference, creating your sales messages, kind of just upskilling yourself in general in the world of sales, I've got a workshop coming up in Perth, which is going to be really fun on the 11th of May, a Thursday night. And I've also got my Sales Is Not a Dirty Word e-course kicking off next week as well, next Wednesday on the 19th. So all the info's on the website, www.onesmallstepcoaching.com.au. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.